I'm doing my persuasive speech on why high school students shouldn't get their phones taken away during school. When you're in high school, didn't you get tired of teachers taking away your phone, something that belongs to you? High school students get their phones taken away every minute throughout the school day, and they shouldn't. Why? Because in case of emergencies, parents need to get a hold of their child. Women need their phones to call their moms, and many more. This benefits the audience because it will show the reasons why kids stress so much during school and why they need their phones. Let's see why we should keep our phones during high school. Any kind of emergency can happen at any given moment. Let's say you're walking the halls of school, talking to your sick mom who's in the hospital, and bam, a teacher walks up and your phone gets taken away. Later that day, you have no absolute communication with anyone that you know of or talk to. How do you know how mom is doing? Is she going to surgery? Is she feeling better? Did something bad happen? You want to know because you don't have your phone. No matter how much you explain to that teacher that you really do need your phone, that there's a family emergency, they don't care for any excuses. The effects of this problem can lead to something happening to the kid's mom. And he or she would never know because they don't have their phones to see any updates. It's important that all high school students should always keep their phones on them because of an emergency like this, and any kind of emergency. Teenagers always have a lot going on that no one else understands. It can lead to horrible outcomes. For example, what happens to this kid's mom will be a mystery for him or her until he or she gets out of school. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to wait till I get out of school to see what happened to my sick mom. In Valerie Strauss's article, she states the same reasoning that banning smartphones isn't the best way to go. She says, from an educational perspective, banning smartphones in schools would be an easy solution, but not necessarily the smartest one. The ones who are affected by this are the ones who get their phones taken away. Whether they deserved it or not, they shouldn't have gotten it taken away. They can suffer the consequences when they get to their families, but not at school. Research shows that kids and adults get stressed and have anxiety attacks, not knowing that they don't have their phones. Having the phones on them helps prevent any stress or any future anxiety attacks. In other words, don't take away kids' phones if they really need it. An example I can tell for kids being allowed to carry the phones during the school day in any high school in case of emergency is, I went through one myself. Freshman year of high school, I got my phone taken away. During the morning hours of school, we got told we were under a lockdown because someone had brought a gun onto our campus. We had to take cover, hide, and everything. While I was under a table, scared my life was going to be taken away from a shooter, I didn't have my phone to call my parents to let them know if I was okay or not. They had absolutely no contact with me to see what was going on or to see if I was dead or not. This is one of the main reasons we need our phones during school. Coming from experience, we need them. Let's see what the solution is. Just don't take away kids' phones. This solution would help in many ways. It will prevent the kids from having any kind of impact. It will prevent the parent from having to pick up the kids from the school. The kids can stay in contact with anyone they need to stay in contact with and more. This satisfies the need of having your phone during school. Like said before, it prevents anything from happening. This solution can be implemented by not banning phones during school hours or just not taking them away in general. Plan of action is teachers and staff need to stop deciding whether it's okay or not to ruin a child's day by taking their phones, so you don't have banning rules or any kind of rules at all. Steps for action is take away the no phone rule. Don't have a phone slot on the wall to put your phone in. and stop being ridiculous. Let's visualize something here. Less drama will be associated with the solution. Expected results of this action is very less stress on parents having to deal with their kids complaining. Kids will eventually stop complaining, less panic attacks, and more. If this action isn't meant, there will most likely be consequences on parents and teachers, because if the bans don't get lifted, children or teens will demand what they want until they get what they want, and they will continue to do so. Coming from a high school where we had to put our phones in the phone chart on the wall, kids complained every second of the class until they got their phones back. Time to review. Phones are being taken away from kids every day during the school day. Majority of kids depend on their phone to get them through the day. Children need their phones in case of emergency. Women who need to call their moms for advice.